I am happy to announce the 10th annual Butch Ward Scholarship Bass Fishing Tournament that is being held at the Fish and Games Club on Big Slack on the upper Potomac River. The event is Sunday, October 26th, and blast off is at 7:30 a.m. It is $115 per boat. You can fish with a partner or by yourself, and the event is going to go until 3:30 p.m. Big Slack on the upper Potomac River is a scenic impoundment in western Maryland, and it's one of the few places in Maryland you can safely operate a fiberglass bass boat without any motor restrictions. But fair warning, Big Slack is no Bass Pro Shop aquarium or stocked bass pond. This is a tough fishery that's going to challenge the best anglers. But if you can catch them here, it'll make the Ohio River or New Jersey look like Lake Gunnersville. For more information, link in the episode description down below. See you there. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Arens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. I'm your host, Thomas Arens, and today we are heading down to JMU with the guy who just runs the Shenandoah Valley. He's taken plenty of people's money on the Shenandoah River and kayak fishing, but we're going to be talking maybe more about bass boats today. We have Daniel Big D TV on the house and his partner, Hayden. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having us, man.
What has been going on in your world?
Lots of busyness, honestly. Running the clubs keeping me busy. So less fishing right now, but we're ready for the full tournament season to start.
Actually, I don't think you've told people on my show about that. So why not a little background? Like, you're the president of a club now?
Oh, yeah. So I'm president of the JMU Bass Fishing Club now. So I kind of handle most of what happens in the club, getting where we're going to stay during tournaments, what tournaments we're going to go to, getting funding, getting sponsors. So I've been pretty busy, but it's really cool. I'm very grateful to be voted into this position because, I feel like I can do some good things.
What made you want to do that? Was it just resume building stuff? Was it that you just enjoy bureaucracy and dealing with all the headache? Like, what possessed you to do it?
I felt like I could promote our club and push us farther and make us better. Because I had a bunch of ideas of what we can do for like fundraising, and we have to do community service hours, so we got to get stuff like that done. Last year we did like nothing at all, and we ran out of money after the first tournament. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take over next year and get us set up right, so we don't have to worry about it.
I'd say it's safe to say so far we're on the right track for sure. So
I think so.
How many people are in the club now?
So the club is technically separate from the team. So we have to have a club to have a competitive team. The club has like 50 members, I think. And then we're doing tryouts for the competitive team, hopefully in like a week or two. And we'll have 4 boats this year. Each boat will have a partner, and they'll pick a backup partner during tryouts.
So 4 boats, 8 people, and a backup.
Yep.
How do you do the tryouts? Is it social media presence? Is it biggest fish ever caught in your life? Like, how the hell does that work?
So we're going to go take everyone wants to try out. We'll load them up on everyone's boat, whoever boat they want to try out for. And then basically the boater gets to pick who they want as their partner. So if you impress the boater, he's going to pick you. Or if you know what you're doing, we basically just want to make sure they're not going to take a Zebco out there with a bobber.
That'd be pretty badass if that's your partner with a Zebco and he ends up catching big bass in the tournament.
Yeah, that's our plan at Okeechobee. We're just gonna throw live bait all the time.
Oh my god! So with that said, you become El Dente Presidente. The season starts. What was your first line of business, and what kind of tournaments did you have lined up this fall?
So this fall we only did one tournament. I might do a kayak tournament because I qualified for the state championship for Bass Nation.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't really go with the club, I guess. But we just got back from a tournament at the Potomac for an MLF College Series event. That's probably the only one we're going to fish this fall. Mainly going to do fun fishing during the winter and stuff. But we should have done a lot better, but we didn't do terrible. I mean, we won it in practice, and our second spots didn't pay off like it was in practice because we got burnt up by the Toyota Series.
Let's get into that. Let's just not just gloss right over it. Let's get into the meat of it here. who was your partner? And did you guys fish a bunch together? And okay, well, what's the story?
Yeah, we fish a bunch together. I would say we go, what would you say, at least 2 to 3 times a week fishing?
Yeah.
We pretty much call around anything that's nearby. Yesterday I actually made like 30 phone calls, and we got permission on a private pond at a horse training place. It was pretty cool. We caught a lot of fish, but I think that kind of helps us build some team chemistry, I would say.
Yeah, we definitely fish together a lot, and I feel like we fish well together. We don't fight on the boat or anything. We're always positive no matter what. So,
Hayden, what would you say your style of fishing is?
Well, I prefer to power fish. Back home, I fish. So I live in the Charlottesville area, so I fish the Rivanna Reservoir, and then there's Beaver Creek that I fish, and I fish a whole bunch of electronic tournaments. Like you can't use any gas motors, so that makes it difficult. But in those tournaments, we usually have to finesse fish a lot. So I will do it if I have to, but I'd rather pick up a bait caster and power fish all day if I can.
What would you consider your biggest weakness?
Probably
no weaknesses.
Okay, I would say my biggest weakness is if I know I have a ton of confidence in a bait and I know it's good, but that for some reason that day it's not working, like something has happened, maybe I'll get stuck up on it for a little, like too long and not switch fast enough.
Yeah, I have that problem too. You just get dialed in, locked in, and you don't want to switch techniques. You feel like, well, the next cast it'll work. The next cast it'll work.
Exactly. So I feel like in tournaments that can waste time sometimes, but usually our practice pays off, so it doesn't happen too often.
Mm-hmm.
Well, talking about practice, like going into the Potomac series the Potomac event, did you get to practice as a team? Like, what was it leading up into that event?
So my boat was getting serviced, and I told him to go through everything, go check everything, make sure everything's good for the whole season. So, and the parts were taking forever to come in. So we actually got one day less of practice than everybody else did. So that set us back a little bit. But so we got 2 days of practice, and then the first day we didn't do bad. We caught fish pretty early in the morning, and then we were like, okay, we're not liking this spot. We're going to run farther down. So we ran down, started catching them. Got into one really good spot that we went to like every day after that to make sure it was still good. And it was great every day.
Yeah.
Saw big ones, shook off big ones, accidentally hooked big ones. I mean, we just couldn't really keep them off where we were trying to get out of the way, and they were still fighting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I feel like that spot also, our best spots, it took us a lot of time to figure out the tide, or it didn't take us a long time to figure out the tide.
It took like a full day.
We figured out our best spot, and the wrong tide just wasn't even worth going to pretty much. So I think that third day of practice, if we had it, definitely would have helped.
It would have locked
us. But for tournament day, we figured out the tides pretty well. Our only issue was just the Toyota Series guys right in front of us.
They had a BFL, which was a 2-day, I believe, and then they had the Toyota Series like the next 2 days after that, and then we were the day after the Toyota Series, and then even after us, like a week later, they had another BFL there. So they were just like loading up tournaments. So those fish were just dead at that point. Like they got caught so bad.
It's an interesting problem because I've I think I was on Brian Basscast radio show, guys, and just comment down below if you guys think this is true or not. Where they stack the tournaments because of their logistics, but the problem is you start beating that thing like a $20 hooker. Like when you have 7 major tournaments back to back weekends, I mean, it's got to change your strategy. Did you think about, okay, listen, every fish has been released at Mattawoman. Maybe we just don't leave Mattawoman.
So we actually went back there because I know a lot of the Toyota Series guys. They stayed near the boat ramp,
and they caught great bass.
So we had that idea, and we did come back there on the last day of the tournament, and we didn't get anything because I think we had a bigger off limit zone than the Toyota Series had.
Yeah, they could pretty much fish all the way up to where their launch was. We had a bigger area. We can still fish in Mattawoman, but it's not quite as much.
And the spot we really wanted to go to was off limits, so that was annoying. But I mean, in practice, we won technically. During the tournament, we thought we were winning, and after the first hour, we're winning. There's no way we're not, because we weren't in our good spot, and we had 9.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow down. What happened in the morning that made you think that?
So we had a morning spot that the day before. We were kind of counting on it to produce maybe like 2 or 3 bites at most. Maybe what? Like 1 fish for a bag.
Yeah, we're like maybe we'll get like a 2.5 pounder and keep it. We'll see. We're just waiting for the tide to start changing to go to the other spot, really. And then we get there, 30 minutes, we have a full bag.
Yeah,
and it's only like 7 pounds, but we're like, oh,
yeah, we were
this
still
is great.
going,
That's great.
We had 2 fish in the boat at once.
Yeah.
For those 30 minutes.
This guy waxed me. I'm pretty sure I had 1 fish at the end of the day that was mine, and the rest were his. But at one point, I got one, was putting in the live well, picked my rod up, got another one. I'm like 2 casts later, put it in the live well. I cast out again. Hayden gets one. I get it. I weigh it. The thing. Before I even put it in the live well, he's got another one in the boat. So I'm like holding 2 fish, trying to weigh them. Then we put them in there, and after we get a full bag, it's like 30 minutes after we launched. Like we were set, and then we fished the same stretch like twice, I think, and we pretty much hammered it. There wasn't anything else biting. I did catch a 5-pound snakehead, which was cool on a Rogers Smalley jig.
That was really exciting for the first 3 seconds. Daniel was freaking out, saying it was a giant.
It was great. But after that, we go fish these docks that we didn't even fish during practice. We were like, we got time to kill. Let's go fish them. We already got a bag. And by the time we left there, we had 9.5 pounds. And we're like, on the next boat ride, we're just like jamming. Like, we're set. We're going to our good spot. Nothing bad's happening.
And we still had a couple dinks that we could have culled. Like we could have got some big culls. So we were feeling pretty good going into our next spot.
Yeah. And then we get there, and the tide isn't how we want it to be. We just wanted to get there a little early and fish it a little bit. And we're sitting there like 2 hours go by. The tide's exactly where it's supposed to be, and they're not biting. We're like seeing a few fish. Normally we're seeing like 10, 20 fish every 20 minutes. But they just weren't in there like they were. And we fished there like most of the rest of the time that we had left. We had like an hour left when we left and didn't catch a single thing.
Maybe like we caught some perch, some small bass, a couple small bass.
Nothing that cold. And the reason is because we were there the day before, kind of like sitting on a goose egg, making sure no one's going in there.
We were just eating lunch at the spot, just watching the fish.
There. And then Toyota Series guys comes in, and he catches 16 pounds right in front of us.
Yeah, we talked to him after the tournament. He caught 16.5 pounds out of the tiny creek that we were hoping that we could win in. Yeah. So we probably should have taken the whole one. But
yeah, I was still hoping though. But I mean, after that, we ran back to Madison and fished as close as we could to the ramp, and then just got back.
Yeah,
and we had a dead fish. A fish died for no reason at all. It just died. It was it was like our second biggest fish, and it just died. There was not bleeding or anything. I guess he just went into shock or something. So that dropped us 7 places alone.
Which is weird.
Just having a dead fish.
I think neither of us have ever had a dead fish before. I don't like that I can recall. So that was kind of weird. Especially it wasn't hooked deep or anything. So that was really weird.
Yeah. I still don't know how it died. I was talking to SB about it. He said it could be, even though the water isn't hot, he still likes to ice the fish, and that could have been what it is. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can really think of it being. So
heat and oxygen.
Yeah. I was keeping an aerator on him. I was replenishing the water. Like, I don't know. Like at one point, as soon as I noticed that he was starting to be lethargic, because we check on him like every 30 minutes or so. He started to be lethargic, so I was like putting the aerator on every 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, you threw
let it run. Yeah. Put G-juice in there, and I revived him one time where he was like belly up, and I revived him, and he was good for like another hour, and then he just died.
Oof. I mean, that happens, dude. There's not much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard, I've heard a myth, I don't know if there's any truth to it, about if you buy gas station ice, that it has chlorine in it, and it can actually mess the fish up more. But I don't know if that's any truth to it or not, so I always just bring ice from my house if I'm going to ice the live well. But I know it definitely helps out a lot, so in the future, we're probably going to do that.
Does gas station ice have chlorine? Let's just pull a little Jamie here and check it out. Generally, ice from gas stations will have very low amounts of chlorine, as most commercial ice machines use filters to remove it. The water supply starts with tap, which contains chlorine for sanitization, teeth, blah, blah, blah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Myth proven correct. Interesting.
Yeah. So I usually just get ice from my house. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I've heard of guys using gas station ice and their whole life well just being dead. But I guess it really just depends on the person or how lucky you are.
I never really knew about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Going into the tournament, what were your expectations about what the weights you thought would be to have a chance to win versus as the day went on?
They're exactly
Yeah.
what I thought it would be.
We said there might be a 15 or 16-pound bag, but if you have 14, you'll probably win it. And what was it, 14-12 that won the
14,
tournament?
12, 1.
So
Wow.
it was
That's
pretty
crazy.
much exactly what we thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially leaving the first spot with 9.5 pounds, we knew our second spot we thought it would produce a couple 3.5 pounders, which would have put us right there.
We were accidentally catching him. Oh, he was accidentally catching him during practice. I mean, we were just like trying to see what they were biting in there, shake them off, and then, let them go. He threw a Roger jig out, and he thought he felt like something. He was like, oh, it's grass. He popped it. 3-pounder just starts rolling everywhere, and you're like, oh, God.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, we figured out one thing, downsizing our presentation. I think after all those tournaments definitely played a big role. I think a lot of guys were just stuck to punching all day, which we didn't do a whole bunch of. We really downsized pretty much all of our baits, and I think that got us a few more bites.
Yeah.
Was that premeditative? Were you thinking going into it, hey, we're going to downsize to begin with and not even mess with punching, or did you practice punching and then pivot to BFS?
We punched every day. We just couldn't get fish, so we didn't really do it much during the tournament.
Yeah, and then one day we were just eating lunch and picked up a smallie jig and a couple other really just finesse baits, and they were working pretty much immediately. So we caught on that pretty fast. I think that was our last day of practice. We figured that out.
All right. What were your baits? What was your technique that led you close to victory?
Jackhammer and Roger Smalley jig.
I think that was pretty much the only 2 baits we caught them on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, during practice, we caught them on other stuff, but we didn't really throw it during the tournament.
I know a lot of guys were throwing a speed worm and a swim jig, but we didn't probably most of our confidence in the jackhammer.
They were just hammering it. I mean, they were choking it.
And
anything, they were just choking a jackhammer.
And one really cool thing we found out, one morning we pulled into our favorite creek and we found crayfish, which I didn't know they were as huge as they are in the Potomac. We found a creek and was it hundreds of them?
Oh yeah, because during that tide, the bass, they were out in the mouth of the creek, like they were nowhere to be found. We talked to one of the locals there. He's like, yeah, they go out there during this tide, and you can't catch them. They're under the mat. Like you can drive in there, you'll probably see them, but you can't catch them. So we stay away from them. But then once the tide, I guess when it came all the way in, they go in, and before they come in, that creek is just loaded with crawfish. They're all like they're like this big, and they got giant red claws.
They were red as could be. Yeah. We picked up a red jackhammer, and I think that actually might have picked up a couple more bites that we wouldn't have gotten before.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have thrown it if I hadn't seen this crayfish, but it was kind of interesting to see how they ate that.
But once the bass started coming in there, you wouldn't see crayfish.
Yeah,
like they were all hiding, and the crawfish biting there was ridiculous.
It's wild because I've had a guy on, I think it was 2 years ago, that said the same thing about the Potomac. In the fall, they have that bright orange color to them. And I even heard some people say like they've seen them almost black as well. So it does seem like it wasn't just a seasonal like one-off. It's something that they do every fall.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know where those crayfish were. I guess they were back in a few inches of the pads, just trying to hide from the bass as the tide rose up. But we really could not find a single crayfish, when the tide came up and the bass were in there.
Yeah, those bass were locked up. Those crayfish, and they do it.
So why a Rogers dig? You love that thing so much. Sell me on it.
They have a sickle hook, and if you even so much as breeze a fish, they're hooked and they're not going off.
I tried to shake the one in practice. It's true. They will not come off.
If the fish touches, if it looks at it, it's hooked. I mean, that thing is so sharp and such a small presentation that they can't just bite the claws. They eat the whole thing. It just works.
What do you use that on?
I actually have a new rod. It's a Champion 703 spinning rod, I think. I can't remember which one it was. But I usually used to throw it on a Caden 712 Dobbins, but I broke that rod and they didn't have the same one at Jake, so I just upgraded.
What do you use line-wise? Do you go downsize to like 12, 14 or what?
We're down to 8. Yeah, which was a little scary because the Potomac, you have grass and pads, but as long as you work the fish right, I mean, it seemed like it didn't really matter. It was okay. Especially after all those tournaments, we were really stressed out about like how finicky they would be, so I just stayed with the 8-pound test. It seemed to work fine.
Well, was there a moment in the day that you actually thought you guys had a chance to do really well in the event?
The entire first half of the day, when we were just fishing where we haven't fished before and killing it, we were like, dude, when we get to our good spot, we might win.
Yeah, we were pretty confident. the vibes were high all day, but definitely on the run to our good spot, we were singing the music pretty loud, and we were feeling pretty good going into it.
When did it flip? Like, did you ever feel like you had a chance after you got to your best spot to actually make an adjustment and to get yourself back into contention?
So we got to our good spot like an hour before the tide was going to be perfect for it. And about an hour after the tide was perfect and they weren't eating anything, I was like, okay, something happened. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's not looking good. And that's actually when West Virginia, they fished the same spot as us. They rolled in and they were catching like a little bit more than we were during practice, as they say they were, but we'll see. But they rolled in there when we were trying to roll out. So I stopped and I was like, guys, I don't know what happened, but we've only got 9.5 pounds right now. And they're like, dude, same. I don't know what happened. Something shut off. We don't know what's going on. But it was weird because that was our worst day of fishing was the tournament day. And that was their worst day of fishing compared to practices. But a lot of the other guys in the tournament I heard saying it was their best day.
Yeah, it was their best day. Like they hadn't caught anything in practice. And then that day for them was just money. So.
They didn't get guys for people like don't know at home. Adrian College back to back, first place, second place, 14-11, 13-07 respectively. You go all the way down to top 10, and in the top 10 chart, you have University of Pikeville, I believe it is, 11 pounds, 12 ounces, and that's for 10th place for 11 pounds, 12 ounces. And then all the way down there with you guys finishing up 25th with 8 pounds, 13 ounces with that dead fish penalty. So if you had 9.5, that almost puts you, it definitely puts you in the top 20 of the event.
Yeah. And really just even one good fish, I think, in our creek would have put us top 10, but we were hoping to get 2 or 3 in there. Yeah. Like we had, in practice, I think we could have caught a whole bag out of there really easily. We'd usually just flip something on them and then they'd dart to it. We'd either just shake them or just pull away before they got to. So we really didn't catch many fish in there in practice. I think the one day we caught 2 nice ones, but besides that, we really didn't catch many. Yeah.
Well, now with hindsight being 2020, what would you have done differently?
I would have left sooner.
Yeah, definitely would have left that spot sooner. But
I would have went back to where we were in the beginning.
Yeah, if we had stuck it out there the whole day, we probably could have caught a better bag. Also, I think coming to our good spot an hour early, we kind of thought we could do that so we could be there, as the fish are coming in. But we probably should have just came right when it was good, so we could have known or not known immediately and made a decision if we should leave.
Yeah.
Well, first one in the books then together, guys. That's awesome. Schedule-wise, like, have they released a schedule yet for, 2026?
Yeah, they released the Bassmaster schedule, I think, last week. And stop 1 is the same stop 1. Well, the series that we're fishing. The same stop 1 is the same as last year. Florida, it's Okeechobee. And I'm praying that we don't get a cold snap the week before we go down like last year, to where it just shuts all the fish off and half the teams do really good and the other half 0. So
when is it?
January 20 something.
Okay, so January-ish, gotcha. So really early in the year. Yeah, that's going to be. And I'm assuming you're going to be taking your old boat, the SS Minna Johnson, down there?
Yeah, we're going to be doing the Lunkers Trail. There's 2 trails they do with the Bassmaster College Series. It's looking like it's going to be January 28th and 29th. So the 29th is my birthday. So hopefully we bag.
We better get your bag down there. Actually, I got pictures from last year. Actually, that one right there. Look at Joey last year.
Yeah, I didn't unfortunately get to fish it last year, but it seemed like Daniel caught a PB. What was it, 6.5 pounds? Yeah. In Okeechobee. And it sounded like you guys saw. You don't even know.
10 pounders.
Yeah.
Allegedly, some of the guys were like, we saw like 12, 10 pounders, but I don't know. Allegedly. Yeah. So this was like the first day of the tournament. They got a great picture of me and William on the boat, so I framed that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. It's got the JMU Bass sticker on there, and then this is the 6-pounder. They took a professional picture of me on the stage. That was great.
Dude, that's a nice photo.
I know. I'll get a frame.
Roger's jig?
Of course. No, it's the only other thing I throw is a jackhammer.
So, dude, you have so much on your plate. Like, are you going to try to get any pre-practice in for any of these events going into next year?
So we, as a team, we get a letter from UREC that doesn't excuse us from class, but it lets them know that it's a sports club event. So we're not just skipping class. We actually have an event to go to, which most teachers will be like, yeah, that's fine. I won't mark you absent. So we go down there, bring all our books and everything because we still have to do homework while we're down there. And we get to stay down there for a full week without going to class. And we just fish for 8 hours a day. So
That's so cool, dude. That is awesome. What kind of responsibilities do you have between now and fishing season kicking back up as president?
Getting sponsors. We've gotten a lot. We've got a decent fund going right now. I'd like to get a few more $1,000 just to keep us in the green for all year long. Mainly that, and then working with UREC to fill out forms. And then I also work, so I have to keep up with my job too.
That's kind of important.
Yeah.
How are you going to be incorporating your YouTube channel into the college season? Are you going to try to record some while you guys are out on the road?
Yeah, so I recorded the entire Potomac trip, but you know how GoPros are, and they don't work all the time. So thankfully, we didn't catch anything after it stopped working. But I only got like half of it on video, which included all but one of our keepers because the GoPro was being stupid again. But I'll be posting that soon. I just haven't looked at the video because I've been busy and I haven't been able to edit it yet. So should be out within a few days. There
you go. Yeah, keep that channel going, dude, because it's just going to get better and better as time goes on and you keep putting out content. If you guys don't know, go check out. He has his Winning Ways video from his big Bass Nation Kayak Series event this past, I guess, late spring on the old Shenandoah. Go check that video out. That was really cool. Daniel, Hayden, like we talked about so much. Like, what else have we forgotten to talk about?
Hey, if anyone wants to sponsor the JMU Bass team, let me know.
We've been looking out. We've been sending emails, doing phone calls, probably at least a couple times a week. We've been driving to places all around Harrisonburg. So definitely trying to look for more places.
We're trying to get Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's is one that we've really been trying to work on. They have a weird process for sponsorships. You have to send them a letter in the mail with a printed out form that they give you rather than doing anything like email. So that's going to take a while for us to hear back from them, but that'd be a great one if we could get it.
That would be awesome. How far is that Buc-ee's from you?
Like 10 minutes.
15 minutes. Yeah, it's awesome.
Go there for sandwiches.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Guys. Oh, yeah. Well, there you have it. As always, guys, link in the episode description, everything we talked about. If you would like to go sponsor and help support Daniel, Big DTV, and the JMU fishing team, I'll put a link in the episode description so you can go reach out to him, or you could probably reach out to him on Instagram, Big DTV. Go check him out on YouTube and everything. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, as always. And then we'll be staying up to date on their adventures going into next year as well. And then, guys, as always, check out Fishing the DMV on Patreon, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to go help support us on Patreon, it really means a lot. If it wasn't for Patreon, we couldn't be able to do any of this stuff. And then huge shout out again to Patreon supporter of the week right now. Well, we're just going to say Daniel, Big DTV. Someone else to help support the show. If it wasn't for you guys, I would be behind a dumpster at a Walmart probably. So it really matters a lot that you guys help support me. And we will see you next time on Fishing the DMV. Bye. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Arens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.